Shade family. This is your girl, Empress Queen Goddess, the Georgia Peach with the sweet meat. Sorry I'm running late. I know I was supposed to came on earlier, but I was over at the Info's house. So I promise y'all I will be back tonight with part 2 of Psychic Development and Clairvoyance. So without further ado, let's get it, my loves.
In your mediumship. Mediumship is a psychic practice that involves bringing information from the spirit world to the physical world. A medium is anybody with the ability to do this. This psychic ability is called mediumship because the psychic, or the medium, essentially acts as a middleman, a vessel through which spirits can get messages across to people here on Earth. Although you may have seen in the movies that mediums are people who use powerful magic, this is not right. Everyone, including you, is born with the ability to be a medium. As long as you have a soul with psychic senses, you have the inherent gift. What matters is whether you let it keep lying dormant or you work on honing the ability so it can benefit you and the people around you. Any psychic ability can be made stronger with practice. Think of your psychic abilities as your body's muscles. When you go to the gym to work on your muscles, your biceps will bulge and come out, and this will make you stronger. Well, this is the same with the psychic sense associated with your psychic abilities. You may not realize it, but they are inside of you. If you work on them, they too will start to show. From an early age, you might have had one or more experiences with spirits. I remember seeing my first spirit when I was still at the tender age of 6. Sometimes your ability to see, hear, or interact with spirit may manifest itself. At other times, a traumatic experience, such as losing a loved one, might be the key to opening the pathway to that ability. This usually happens because the past one has an important message to get across to you or someone else they knew during their life. If your primary psychic sense is clairsentience, mediumship comes more easily. If you feel like you are getting signs from someone on the other side, acknowledge and let them know that you are receiving their signs. Acknowledging them means you are more likely to receive more signs. Then you can keep conversing with them. Sometimes the spirits may visit instead of sending signs. Beginning your mediumship is one of the most remarkable things you can experience as a psychic. The first time you connect with the spirit world will feel surreal and magical. You will find yourself becoming filled with a feeling of peace and calm that you have possibly never felt before. This goes beyond inner peace. It reflects physically as a sensation of pure love, peace, and acceptance. Based on movies we watched while growing up, we have been conditioned to believe that ghosts or spirits are generally malevolent spirits looking to hurt us. In reality, they are the spirits of people that we knew when they were alive. So how could they possibly want to hurt us? You have absolutely no reason to fear spirits. They cannot physically do anything to you. The only thing they can do is inspire weird vibes and feelings in you. Other than that, they're harmless, which is a good thing. So how are you able to communicate with spirits? Spirits are beings that haven't been able to move on to the other side after their death. Therefore, they are still operating in the same element as you, which is the earth element. Due to this, you can communicate with them. Even after death, our spirits or souls live on. The body may die, but the soul doesn't die, which is why many people have past lives. When some people die, their spirits remain tethered to the earth due to something meaningful. This leaves them stuck on the astral plane, where they can't easily come down to earth. Some require mediums to deal with whatever is keeping them in the earth element. If you wonder why you would ever need to communicate with spirits, know there are various reasons. One of the basic things you must understand as a medium is that the spirit world is full of guides that can benefit you immensely if you pay attention to their signs. Ghosts are not the only spirits. Mediumship goes beyond communicating with ghosts. Being a medium means you can communicate with just about any spirit, including the highest vibrational ones. You can learn a lot from your connection to spirits in the spirit world. That special connection can assist you in different stages of your life. The good thing about mediumship is that you can learn it all on your own. However, there are a few things I always advise people who are just beginning their mediumship. First of all, don't start your mediumship by using tools such as a pendulum or a Ouija board. If you don't train yourself to connect without tools first, your abilities may always depend on the tools. Setting that precedent is dangerous for your development and practice. But what makes it dangerous is these tools are used to open up a portal to spirits. That means that any spirit, not just the one that you want to communicate with, can come through that portal. Yes, the spirits cannot physically harm or hurt you. The problem is that you will have a lot of ghosts hanging around you with stuck energy. And second, be careful not to lose your focus. Staying focused is an essential tool for any psychic medium. You have to be specific and focused when channeling any spirit. The process requires a lot of concentration because opening up a portal to the spirit world drains you of energy. It is a whole lot of work. If you don't focus on the spirit that you want to connect with, you may end up channeling another spirit that will be of no help to you. After using a lot of energy, you may find it hard to refocus and invoke the spirit that you want. And third, listen to your guts. Listening to intuition rarely fails mediums. Sometimes the spirits communicate with you through your gut feeling. If your spirit guide wants you to know something urgent, you may feel a strong sensation in your gut. It's like when you meet a new person and you feel a strong compulsion to exchange your contact details with them, even though you usually wouldn't do that. Well, that is your spirit guide prompting you through your gut feeling. To hear what your gut has to say to you, of course, you need to quiet your mind. Therefore, my fourth piece of advice is that you quiet your mind at all times. You can't hear spirits when there is a lot of noise and chatter in your mind. There are different ways that you can quiet your mind. Discover whichever one works best for you. Some things you can do to this effect include walking in nature, practicing deep breathing, turn your phone off, and of course, meditate. Once you achieve a quiet mind, your spirit guides can meet you to offer help and guidance. Pay attention to your dreams, because sometimes spirits send messages to the dream portal. Communication via dreams is a real thing. It is especially a thing with spirits who are still in the early stage of their passing. If they have successfully crossed over to the other side, the only way they can contact you is through dreams. Most of the time, they appear in your dream to let you know they are in a good place, or they may appear to warn you of something that is yet to happen. Finally, make writing a vital part of your mediumship journey. Some writing meditations can help you communicate with spirits, and it's easy. So light a white candle, sit comfortably, close your eyes and breathe in deeply, and then breathe out. Do this for a few seconds. Say out loud that you would like to connect to the higher vibrational beings available to you as guides. And next, as a question, breathe in and out deeply and allow your hands to relax loosely. Then, write down whatever the spirits say to you. They often talk fast, so don't be alarmed if you're writing just as fast. Follow all these tips and you will have no trouble connecting with the spirit world. Still, it is possible to have trouble establishing a connection. Don't stress about it. Remember that the whole thing is a process, and you won't necessarily make progress on the first few tries. Just because you want to connect with them instantly does not mean that you will. It might even take years to perfect this practice. So how to tune into the spirit world? Tuning in with the spirit world is relatively easy. It all depends on how long you have been engaging in psychic activities. Suppose you have been engaging your psychic senses and sharpening your intuition. In that case, it won't be as hard as it would be for someone who is new to the whole thing. Establishing a connection with the spirit world is akin to tuning in to a specific radio frequency. When you tune into the spirit, you are raising your vibrational energy. But spirits lower their vibrational frequency so that you can connect with them. So then, basically, both of you meet in the middle. There are 3 important rules you must never forget whenever you want to tune into the spirit world. Number 1, Your journey to the spirit world is unique to you. You must respect and honor this. Number 2, always say what you encounter. You have no reason to hide from whatever you see when you connect to the spirit world. If you do hide, you will likely lose valuable information that could give meaning to your journey. And number 3, trust whatever comes to you first as you open up the portal to the spirit world. The first thing you see is likely to be the most accurate information. Following your 5 steps to tune into the spirit world. Set an intention. You need to say out loud that you would like to open up the spirit portal to communicate and receive messages from a specific spirit in the spirit world. Clarify whether you are connecting for a personal purpose or on behalf of another person. The universe hears as you state your intention out loud, and so do the spirits in the spirit world. Meditate. A simple meditation or breathing exercise to quiet your mind is a necessary step. So use your daily meditation technique and get your logical brain to quiet down. This is crucial for a swift and clear connection with spirits. And listen. Listen attentively for any sign, symbol, or message from the spirit world. The message may come in the form of a song, images, noise, or anything else. Sometimes you may not even receive the message immediately, so you have to pay attention to the events that happen throughout your day. Any coincidence that happens may not be a coincidence. And draw up a reading screen. If you are a clairvoyant, a reading screen is necessary to receive the spirit's message. The screen is where you will find whatever information spirit has for you in the form of images, pictures, and symbols. Helped by your third eye, visualize a giant movie screen in front of you. Attach a grounding cord to the screen and root it to the core of the earth. Now, ask a question or ask to receive a message from spirit. Be careful not to use a demanding tone, and don't be impatient. Let the answer come to you. As you practice, you will find it easier to connect with the spirit portal. To further help you create a strong connection, here are some more tips. Don't smudge with sage right before you connect with a spirit. Sage is an ancient herb often used to ward away ghosts and spirits. So using it before channeling a spirit confuses the spirit because they read that as telling them to leave your space. Set up multiple conductors. Spirits sometimes need conduits to deliver their messages properly. So before you attempt to contact a spirit, set up a different conductor that can be used for communication. Like light a candle, put some water in a glass, use incense to add scent to the room. You may also install audio and video recording devices in the room. They are effective conductors that can help with transmission from the spirit world to the human world. Connecting with the spirit world is an opportunity for you to explore the differences between the physical plane and the realm of the dead. Use that opportunity wisely. As you advance your mediumship journey, now you can finally introduce the Ouija board or pendulums into your practice as a psychic medium. Chapter 7. Unlock telepathy. Suppose someone was to ask you to say the first thing that comes to mind when the word communication is mentioned. In that case, you'd mention things such as speaking, writing, and even chatting before you mention telepathy. Yet, telepathy is one of the best ways of communicating. Telepathy simply means communication through the mind. Your mind is much more powerful than you even realize. Yes, science says that the mind is a powerful entity. Still, even science has yet to unravel the extent of the power of the mind. Most of us don't even understand how awesome this is. F.W.H. Myers coined the term telepathy in 1882. Myers was a British researcher interested in psychical practices. When he coined the term, he was researching the possibility of thought transference. Simply put, thought transference was firstly defined as a phenomenon in which two people's thoughts coincide, requiring a casual explanation. Later, it was defined as a transmission of thought independently of the recognized channels of sense. From this definition, you can tell everything that telepathy entails. Telepathy is a psychic ability that allows you to communicate with people without using known communication channels. The communication takes place through your mind. If you are a fan of mystical superhero movies, you've likely seen a depiction of telepathy before. It usually involves two or more people talking to each other inside of their heads. But the movie depiction of telepathy, as with anything psychic, is somewhat exaggerated. So don't listen to this chapter hoping to become Doctor Strange by the time you get to the end. Telepathy is not a new psychic ability. It has been recorded in different cultures around the globe for hundreds of years. Some sources even say it has been around for as long as 5,000 years. Some say it's been around much longer. You might feel like this is one psychic ability that is unlikely for you, but you do have the ability. As long as you have psychic senses and portals that allow you to access other psychic abilities, telepathy is just another ability waiting to be accessed. Everyone has a natural inborn power to communicate through consciousness. There are 4 ways telepathy can be used. The first is for reading. Reading means hearing the thoughts running through another person's mind. The second way is for communicating, which is when you interact with another person without using any words. The third way is via impressing. This is when you plant a thought, a word, or an image into the mind of another. And last, you can use telepathy to control when you use it to influence someone else's actions. Since your consciousness is central to the practice of telepathy, aligning your consciousness with that of another person is the key to communicating telepathically. However, that is not the only way. Energy is also vital to telepathic communication. Every single person has an inherent ability to transmit frequencies through their vibrating energy. When you can align your vibrational frequency with that of another person, you no longer need to communicate with them through the known channels of senses. Aligning your vibrational frequencies establishes a direct link for sending and receiving telepathic messages. Twin telepathy is one of the most common forms of telepathy. Twins are believed to have the special ability to interact without speaking or using verbal cues. Suppose you have ever been around a pair of twins. Well, in that case, you might have noticed them finishing off each other's sentences, or immediately sensing any negative emotions or effect. Many people believe in twin telepathy, yet they don't believe in telepathy among individuals. Scientific studies have been conducted on twin telepathy, but most of these studies have been based on personal accounts and experiences of some people. Telepathy comes easily to twins, even when they aren't into esoteric practices, because they share the same consciousness grids. They're born on the same vibrational frequency, so they need not struggle to connect telepathically. They already operate on the same wavelength. Also, being born together means that the blueprint for their consciousness grid is similar, almost to where you can't differentiate one from the other without intense scrutiny. Twin telepathy is proof that telepathy is indeed real and possible. But what are the signs to watch out for should you want to identify telepathy in a person? Well, you have likely had different telepathic experiences while growing up. At the moment, you may have passed them off as coincidences, but that was your ability showing itself. If you have ever completed someone else's sentences for them, you have had a telepathic experience. Some of the telepathic experiences may have seemed trivial to you at the time. For instance, you might have sensed that your best friend in another state isn't feeling great. So you called them and found out they weren't feeling great. Many people have had several instances like this, but there is a tendency to think of them as coincidences. Some people think of the experiences relative to luck. A strong intuition always accompanies telepathic ability. The two are not mutually inclusive. If you are telepathic, you are intuitive. To unlock this gift, you have to embrace and trust your intuition. Without trusting your guts, you cannot connect efficiently with other people's vibrations. This makes telepathic communication unattainable. Another thing about telepathy is that it often occurs when you are in a dream state, Your sleep time is a period where your brain waves are at the highest frequency, allowing for a flood of data into your mind. You may believe that time is linear, but it is not. Remember that I said something about the Akashic records and how they contain a collection of every event you have experienced in your past lives? Every thought, every feeling, every word, and every intent from your past, present, and future is contained in the Akashic records. Therefore, when you dream of something, it is because that thing is happening in real time in another timeline and another dimension.
Mm-hmm.
As a psychic, if you often get intense sensations in the middle of your forehead, that is your third eye itching to unlock your telepathic doorway. Of course, this could also be a sign of another psychic ability, or it could be a sign of all the psychic abilities lying dormant in your psychic portals. Don't be afraid if you get more of this sensation when you start practicing telepathic techniques. They will subside subsequently. Telepathy is interconnected with empathy. If you are highly empathetic, then you more than likely have this ability.
Yep.
As you know, empathy involves experiencing other people's feelings almost as real as they experience them.
Yep.
On the other hand, telepathy is linked to thoughts. You can read other people's thoughts inside of their heads. If you are clairsentient, both of these abilities are intertwined for you. Being empathetic and telepathic means that your ability goes beyond just thoughts. It extends to feelings as well. I believe that one cannot be a true telepath without empathy. If you always know when you're being lied to, that is another pointer to telepathy. Telepaths can sense when the information they are receiving is not accurate. Usually, they don't even need to look inside someone's head to realize it. You just find you can sense what is going on in their head. After developing your latent telepathic gifts, you will begin to pick up on thoughts. This is when your clairaudience sense comes into play. You may find that you can hear people's thoughts out loud in your head. And sometimes claircognizance is the psychic sense that comes to the forefront. You start knowing people's thoughts, but the psychic sense involved does not matter. What does matter is that you have access to people's unspoken or unexpressed thoughts. And it does not stop at that. The more practice you put in, the more your ability will advance. You will get to where you can send and receive long-distance messages. You will also be able to plant thoughts, ideas, and messages into other people's minds. Naturally, getting to this point requires months or even years of practice, depending on how in tune you are with your psychic side. Some exercises to develop telepathic abilities. Well, a solid meditation routine and practice is, unsurprisingly, the first thing you must put into practice if you want to develop your telepathic skills. You cannot learn telepathy if your mind is always in a cluttered state. Meditation is for getting rid of any clutter in your mind so you can receive psychic messages. A clear, free, and focused mind is your best chance of linking your consciousness with that of other people. When you first start practicing, observe and try to determine your strength. Are you a better sender or receiver? I make a better receiver. Not that one is better than the other, but just as you have a stronger inclination towards one psychic sense, you are also naturally inclined to send or receive more. It helps to practice with what you are better at. Then you can progress to the opposite once you have learned it in a comfortable level. An even easier way of determining your preference is to think about the question below. Are you more likely to call a friend and have them tell you they were just thinking about you? Or are you more likely to think of a friend and unexpectedly receive a call from them? If you answer yes to the first question, it means you will make a better receiver. By answering yes to the second question tilts you towards a sender. When you have determined this, you can practice based on your strong suit. If you are naturally inclined towards receiving, start practicing how to receive telepathic messages. In your interactions and conversations with others, put in a deliberate effort to pick up on what they are not saying out loud. Note, it does not always come across as words. You might pick up on it in the form of a feeling. Try practicing with anyone with which you are comfortable. Tell them to think of something and see if you can determine what it is. Be sure not to do this with a skeptic, as this may cause a vibrational block. If you tilt more strongly towards sending, practice sending people messages via extrasensory perception. An excellent way of practicing is to meet someone on the street and say hello to them normally, but in your mind think goodbye instead. Watch their facial expression as you say and think of two completely different things. If they show any sign of surprise or confusion, it means they've received your message. They likely will say nothing to you unless they are familiar with esoteric practices. Still, their non-verbal reaction will be your clue. Following are two effective exercises for practicing sending and receiving telepathic messages. Exercise 1, the tarot card technique. To use this technique, you will need a willing partner and a deck of tarot cards. You may even use a standard playing deck or an oracle deck if you don't have any tarot cards. Tell your partner to sit in a specific part of the location far from you. It should be in such a position that you cannot see each other. As the sender or the transmitter, draw 4 cards from the deck and place them on a flat surface. Make sure that they are facing down. Next, flip 1 card over. Relax your mind and concentrate on the card's image, keeping your focus solely on that image. Send the mental image to your partner, who is the receiver. Set the intention for this. Your practice partner's job is to try to receive and accept the image you sent, and then send it back to you. If you want, you can switch positions and act as the receiver instead of the sender. And trust your gut. Don't second guess yourself. Exercise number 2, emotion-induced technique. This exercise is to be practiced with someone with whom you already have an established emotional connection. Sending and receiving telepathic messages is much easier when the other party is someone you have an intimate relationship with. This is because the vibrational frequencies are more potent this way. This exercise can be practiced over a long distance, depending on how strong your emotional connection is. The stronger it is, the more they are likely to receive your message, regardless of distance. So meditate to put yourself in a relaxed state and a receptive mental state. You shouldn't feel like you are forcing a relaxed state. It should feel as natural as it feels when you have leisure time. Make sure that your recipient is also in a relaxed state of mind. If not, they won't be able to receive any messages that you send. Both of you must enter a receptive and relaxed state before you begin. Now determine what you want to send and visualize the other person receiving it. With your eyes closed, picture the other person as clearly as you can. Imagine exactly what they are doing at that moment. You may imagine them sitting in front of you. Add all the details that matter, such as the skin tone, the eye color, your height, the weight, the hair length, and the sitting position. If you are doing it over a distance, look at a picture of them before you start visualizing. And then build a mental image and visualize it, sending it to the receiver. Start this technique with a simple word or an image. Sticking with something simple does help. For example, you can imagine a banana. Visualize a banana in front of your mind's eye. Focus all your thoughts on the banana and imagine the taste and the feel of it as you bite into it. Don't send the message until you have formed a clear mental image of what you want to send. Whichever technique you use, be sure to ask your practice partner what they received. This will allow you to know if they did receive your message. If you aren't successful at first, don't let that discourage you. The key to unlocking the telepathic skills is to keep practicing until you achieve them. Remember to use a different word, thought, or image for each practice session. And as you progress, you can use telepathy to control or to influence people's behavior. Chapter 8, Types of Divination. Divination is perhaps the most complex and comprehensive psychic ability. It is the art of finding hidden knowledge about the future to interpret it. This is made possible through intuition, divining tools, and the help of divine power. It is regarded as a branch of magic, but it is also a psychic skill. It's used to foretell the future and determine the significance of an event, supernatural or otherwise. You could say that divination is a way of unraveling destiny. The art of divination operates on the idea that everything in the universe is connected through energy. We are all connected on an energetic level. Therefore, the whole universe is similar to a massive energy grid that links all of our energy imprints. Once you understand this, it means you can access information from pretty much everything with energy. You need only to find a connector that can link you to the infinite interconnecting grid. Then you can ask questions and seek answers infinitely. Many divination practitioners access the infinite energy grid by using divination tools that range from runes, stones, and tarot cards to shells, sticks, and leaves. As a diviner, you can connect to your divination tools to obtain information from the grid and relay them back to yourself or another person through the tool. How clear the information you obtain is depends on your experience, your conviction, and your ability to clear your mind to ensure clarity when receiving your answers. Any information that comes from the universal energy grid is 100% accurate. However, it may become distorted or may be interpreted inaccurately by the diviner. So whether you want to use divination for just yourself or you would like to help other people along the way, you can learn different things. Divination can help you determine what is coming your way and when it is coming. It can also guide you in making a decision that could affect your life. Through divining, you get a symbolic message you can only interpret. Usually, a diviner is inspired via a thought, a feeling, an idea, a memory, and then metamorphoses those into an answer. Answers gotten through divination can be subjective. You need real skills to be objective in your interpretation of the information that you receive. Otherwise, you may allow your thoughts, your feelings, or your beliefs to get in the way. A diviner must learn to be objective, non-judgmental, and devoid of any agenda. This is the only way to keep yourself out of the way of the varying energy signatures sent to you from the cosmic wide web. It is natural for you to have some form of doubt when you first start your divination practice. After all, divination is much more complicated than other psychic practices, such as telepathy, mediumship, astral traveling, etc. But you must learn to let go of doubt. Otherwise, it will disturb the clarity of the information. If you have ever been in any divining circle, you have probably heard people say, "Give the message exactly as you receive it." This is to avoid distorting the message. Always accept the first thing that comes to your mind when you use divination to access the cosmic energy grid. Do not be tempted to change the nuance or the nature of what you receive. If you do this, you are bound to let your convictions influence the message's meaning. Avoid adding any irrelevant or unrelated piece of information or detail to the mix. Generally, there are several methods of divination. You cannot practice all these methods, but you can find one or two that appeals to you and then master them. Note that none of the methods is necessarily better than the other. Some people believe that people who use tarot for divination have less talent than people who don't, and this is not right. One reason divination has varying methods to choose whichever appeals to them the most. Now, if tarot divination is what you find comfortable, don't be afraid to master it. The divination method you use does not reduce or limit the quality of information you can obtain from the energy grid. Here, I will be discussing 6 methods of divinations. Since we have discussed tarots, pendulums, runes, and crystals in an earlier chapter, I won't focus on those. Everything discussed in Chapter 3 about the use of these psychic tools can be applied to the practice of divination. There is little to no difference, since, in the end, the point is to receive psychic messages from a higher source. So the 6 methods of divination you will be learning here are scrying, tea leaf reading, sand divination, pyromancy, osteomancy, numerology, and automatic writing. So one by one, let's expatiate on what these divination methods entail. In this chapter, I'll explain each method briefly just to know the basics. And the next chapter will go into details on how you can practice some methods. Scrying. Scrying is a divination method that involves gazing into water, fire, or crystals. There is also the full moon scrying, which encompasses the practice of gazing into the full moon whenever there is one. It is one of the oldest methods of divination, and it has been around for hundreds of years. Some people call it the reflection divination. Throughout history, there has been stories of different people across different cultures staring into mirrors, water, oil, metals, and crystals to read the reflection. The practice of crystal ball reading originated from scrying. Tea leaves reading. The art of reading tea leaves has been a thing since the 17th century. The technical term is tasseomancy. It has been around for centuries, even before the Dutch brought China tea to Europe. Tasseomancy is a mix of French and Greek. Tassi is a French word and it stands for cup. Mantia is Greek and it stands for prophecy. So perhaps the literal translation of tasseomancy is the art of foretelling the future from a cup. Tea is not the only thing you can use for tasseomancy practice. You may also use wine sediment or coffee grounds. You can tailor your tasseomancy practice to fit your own needs and tastes. Sand divination. Also called geomancy, sand divination is a divination practice that involves reading the shapes of stones and sand for divining purposes. This practice is common with Muslim communities, especially in the Middle East. Geomancy is regarded as one of the most beautiful art forms. Like any other divination form, those who practice sand divination believe in the presence of vital energy in the sand. The vital energy in this context is the aura. Pyromancy. Many people believe that pyromancy is the oldest divination form. For many centuries, the practice of pyromancy was banned in Europe, alongside hydromancy and necromancy. However, fire is just too fascinating and intriguing to leave it alone. Pyromancy is the divining art of gazing into a fire to obtain psychic messages. If you are a fan of the TV show The Game of Thrones, then you should know that the Red Lady, Melisandre, was a pyromancy practitioner. Dancing around a fire can help you answer some of the most challenging questions in life. Osteomancy. Osteomancy is also called bone divination and is the art of reading bone for divine information. Osteomancy has been a widespread practice across cultures for thousands of years. Although it does have varying applicable techniques, the goal is the same thing: to read messages displayed in the bones. This is one method you may not be able to practice because of the rarity of animal bones, but still, knowing about it may be a benefit to you. Numerology. The basics of numerology are that numbers have substantial spiritual significance. It is believed that some numbers are more potent than others. Also, numbers can be combined to foretell the future and make crucial decisions. And numbers are also connected with planetary movements and shifts. And then there's automatic writing. Automatic writing is one of the most known ways to get messages from the spirit world. It is popular among mediums who communicate with ghosts and spirits. It is the same process I described in the chapter about beginning your mediumship. You simply get a pen and paper, relax your mind, and let divine messages flow through you with no conscious effort on your part. Whatever you write down on the paper is channeled from the spirit world. Now, the next chapter goes more into how you can practice scrying, tea leaves reading, and more of the divination forms that we discussed in this chapter. Chapter 9, Practice Divination. This chapter will focus on discussing the techniques for practicing the divination forms explained in the preceding chapter. So, let's get to it. Scrying. Scrying has long been a method for ancient people to put their wisdom and intuition to use. Everyone knows that water is a very potent source of vital energy. There is a connection to water that we all feel. There is a reason why we feel so energetic after having a warm or a cold bath. Your mind and body are intricately linked to water. The earth, the moon, and the sky are all water sources, which means that water plays a part in the lunar cycles. You need a clear sky, a full moon, and a bowl of water to practice scrying. Apart from these, you also need a flat surface, a notepad, a meditative music, and the last one is, however, optional. You may decide to cast a circle or not. That depends on you. Play your meditative music to put you in a relaxed state of mind. Gently sit in front of the flat surface where you have a bowl of water. Close your eyes and feel yourself turning into the energy of your environment. All your senses should be alert. Listen as the wind rustles the trees. Smell the scent of leaves around you. Feel the energy wash over you. Focus on gathering the energy you feel. It comes as a sensation that is there for you to feel when you look for it. Feel your connection to that energy and its divine source. Remain like this for some minutes until you are ready to scry. When you are ready, open your eyes gently. Observe your environment. You should feel an extraordinary sense of calm, awareness, and clarity. That is due to the energy to which you are attuned. Look at the bowl of water in front of you. Visualize guidance and wisdom swimming within the water. As you visualize, see the energy swirling around the water. Acknowledge that the water can reveal mysteries to you. Stare into the water and look at the reflection. Search for patterns, pictures, and symbols. Do not take your gaze away from the water. After a while, you will start to see pictures, words, or symbols forming in the reflection on the water. Random thoughts that don't immediately make sense may pop into your head. So take your notepad and write them down exactly as they come. Write everything down. You may gaze into the water for as long as you want. Spend up to an hour if you wish, but a few minutes is also enough to get the information you seek. Stop when you feel restless or mundane thoughts are flooding your mind. When you are done, check to see that you wrote down everything that came to you during scrying, including the thoughts, the feelings, and sensations. For the next few days, sit on the information and allow your subconscious mind to ruminate on the meaning until it makes sense. Eventually, you can make sense of it all. If the message you receive doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, think about your loved ones and your friends and try to determine which of them it might apply to. If you have a natural water source near your home, try scrying with larger bowls of water. This makes messages easier to detect amidst all the energy. Reading tea leaves. Well, reading tea leaves is one of the most iconic ways to practice divination. This method may not be as popular as some of the other ones, but it is just as effective. Plus, it is relatively straightforward. You may want to get cups that are designed especially for this divination form. Those cups have symbols and patterns inscribed, allowing for a more straightforward interpretation of any message that you receive. So, how exactly does one read tea leaves? Well, first, of course, you're going to need a cup of tea. The tea has to contain all the leaves, but don't use a strainer when you're brewing it. Using a strainer will get rid of all the leaves, and then, of course, there's nothing to read. Your teacup should be light colored to allow you to see whatever is happening to the leaves inside of the cup. The larger the leaves of the tea, the more accurate your reading will be. So take note of this when making the tea. Use a loose tea leaf blend so the leaves don't become too small. Go for blends like Earl Grey because they usually have large leaves. After making the tea, consume it at your own pace. And after this, all you'll have left at the bottom of your teacup are leaves. Firmly shake the cup so the leaves can form a pattern. One way to do this is to swirl the cup around in a circle a couple of times. Do it 3 times to avoid having wet leaves around. Next, observe the leaves and see if you can see any images in the patterns they form. This is where you start divination. Typically, diviners interpret the images in 2 ways. The first way is to follow a standard set of symbols passed down from century to century. For example, if you get an image that appears like a dog, it means you have a loyal friend in your corner. An apple represents education or knowledge. You can get material with information on tea leaf symbols and their interpretation. While you may find variations in the interpretations, the meanings are pretty much universal. The second way is to use your intuition to interpret the leaves' images that appear to you. Concentrate on how the images make you feel and think. The image may be that of a dog, but it may not inspire a positive feeling symbolic to a loyal friend that you have. Here you have to trust your intuition. Intuitive interpretation requires you to trust your instinct. Multiple images may also appear to you. When this happens, read the images starting from your teacup's handle and go around clockwise. If the cup has no handle, start at the very top, the furthest away from you. Don't forget to have your notepad with you as you do the reading. Whenever you practice, keep that notepad handy. This will allow you to go back to the things that appear to you in the teacup. Numerology. The basis of numerology is the belief that numbers have powerful spiritual and magical significance. In some numerology variants, it is believed that odd numbers are feminine energy numbers. In contrast, even numbers have masculine energy and meaning. Universally, each culture has a different interpretation of what the numbers mean. In some traditions, the meaning of numbers include 1. Linked to the cosmic life force that connects everyone in the universe. It is regarded as a source and a grounding number. Using tarot cards, number 1 symbolizes a person who takes control of his environment and achieves personal power by taking advantage of the people around him. Number 2, this symbolizes duality and polarity. It is a number of balance. When you think of the number 2, think of yin and yang, light and dark, and other opposites. This number represents one of each thing. Number 3, in many numerology traditions, the number 3 is considered the most magical of all numbers. It is symbolic of the realms of the sky, the sea, and the land. It also represents your mental, your physical, and your spiritual needs. 3 also symbolizes action and interaction. In other traditions, it is the number for neutrality and passiveness. Number 4 connects to all the 4 elements: fire, earth, water, and air. It also represents the 4 seasons and the 4 cardinal directions of the world. It is also a symbol of creativity. Number 5, well, 5 is the number of spirits. It is symbolic of your 5 human senses. It is regarded as a symbol of chaos, struggle, and conflict in some traditions. Number 6 represents solar energy. It is a vital source of masculine energy. It represents responsibility and security. Number 7 represents lunar energy. It is connected to the moon and femininity. This number is symbolic of intuition and wisdom, representing consciousness and thought forms. Number 8 is associated with the planet Mercury, which concerns communication and messages. It is an infinity symbol when it's flipped on its side. Number 9, well, 3 times 3 is 9, which makes 9 a triply potent number. It is linked with goddess energy. 9 indicates growth and change. Using the tarot represents the completion of a new process. And 0, well, 0 represents nothing. It represents the potential you have to create something new out of nothing. So 0 is a sign of the beginning. Check through tarot divination, pendulum divination, crystal divination, and all the other divination forms we have just discussed, and choose the one that you think will work best for you. Chapter 10. The Power of Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is the most popular psychic sense in most psychics. Some of us have clairvoyance as our dominant psychic sense, coupled with another psychic sense. If you remember clearly, we briefly discussed its basics in Chapter 2. You have already learned that clairvoyance means clear seeing. It is a psychic ability to see and read energy. Since we have already talked about its meaning and what it entails, this chapter will focus wholly on how you can hone and develop your sixth sense to sharpen your clairvoyant sense. Clairvoyance is the one psychic sense that's common to all the psychic abilities we have discussed so far in this audiobook. If you successfully hone this sense, you will find that any psychic ability that you want to learn becomes easier when your clairvoyance is awakened. The key to developing your clairvoyance is to awaken your third eye. Therefore, following are 6 exercises that you can use to awaken your third eye and open up the pathway to clairvoyance. The first one is visualization. This is one of the best ways to strengthen your third eye and your intuition. There are so many ways you can practice visualization. One of these is flower visualization. Now, getting started is easy. Buy a flower that looks pretty and it smells good. Place the flower before you and observe it for some minutes. After this, close your eyes and picture the flower with as many details as possible. Imagine the shape, the size, the color, and all the other details. Another visualization exercise is to imagine the number 1 in your mind's eye. Envision that you can see the number 1. Make it as big as you want, with whatever colors you want. You can even imagine some sprinkle of glitter if you wish. Now hold this image in your third eye for at least 10 seconds. Next, open your eyes and do a quick breathing exercise. Repeat these steps from number 1 to 2 to 3, etc. until you get to 10. Number 2, talk to your spirit guides. Talking to your spirit guides is another way you can develop your clairvoyance ability. Suppose you interact with your spirit guides regularly. In that case, you can ask them to send you messages in the form of beautiful images. If you have never met your spirit guides, don't fret. Use the meditation technique discussed and call out to your spirit guide to talk to you, and then wait for their message to appear to you. Don't forget, the messages can take different forms. It may come as images, words, thoughts, feelings, or physical sensations. Number 3, play clairvoyant games. There was a game we used to play when we were younger. The game is called Memory. If you played the game when you were younger, you might remember that you used to place cards face down, then flip over one at a time, trying to make a match. This game can sharpen your third eye and increase clairvoyance. Before you flip each card over, use your mind eye to try and see which card is which. Another fun game for clairvoyance is to have someone place 10 random objects on your table. Don't stay in the room while the person is setting up the items. Now,
Beverly, was you in the chat when I had that my guest on here last week, CG Darling? I can't remember if we were or not, but I'm waiting on Anisha to drop in here. I'm gonna have him on again. I don't know exactly when, because he said things been kind of picking up for him. You know, he got to, because he goes all over the place and does lectures. You know, people pay him to do this, so I feel very blessed that he, graced me with his presence. Doing this for me. He said he had a lot of fun, and I told him. Anisha said she ready to pick his brain some more. He said, "Oh yeah, she had some great questions." He said he really had fun. He said, but if when he come back, it would be really nice if he had the questions in advance that y'all want to ask him. So if anyone has any questions that they want to ask him for when he comes back on, just give them to me and I'll give them to him.
Close your eyes and visualize each object. Try using your third eye to see where each item is located and its color and size. Write down the details about each item. Be as specific as possible about the items. When you are done writing, open your eyes, go to where the items are, and see how accurate you were. You can also practice this exercise alone. Go to your nearest park, study the environment, and then close your eyes and visualize as many details as possible about your surroundings. Number 4, practice aura reading. Aura is your human energy field, as I have established. It is in the form of lights and colors. Anyone can train themselves to see this energy around all living things. This makes it an excellent exercise for building clairvoyance. To practice seeing auras, you need a practice partner. Ask the person to stand in front of a white-colored wall or any other plain-looking wall. Step back some feet until you reach a point where you can see your partner's head and shoes without looking up or down. Now concentrate and look through the person to the wall behind them. Focus, and the outline of the aura will start appearing around their head. Number 5 is journal. Journals are a critical part of any psychic developmental journey. Before you start your journey, get a journal to record all your spiritual and psychic experiences. Anytime you connect with spirit and your higher self, or even have a meaningful dream, write everything down. By doing this, you can connect more with your intuition and your clairvoyant sense to make sense of the messages that you receive. Number 6, awaken your third eye. Open your third eye through third eye chakra meditation. The purpose of the third eye meditation is to help you improve mental clarity, focus the mind, and increase concentration. The meditation is brief and very straightforward. Sit comfortably in a chair. Make your spine upright and your shoulders relaxed. Your chest should be open. Place your hands on your knees with the palms facing upward. Gently touch your index finger to your thumb. Relax your body from the face to the jaw and the belly. Your tongue should rest behind your front teeth, and your eyes should be lightly closed. Breathe in and out through your nose. Do this deeply and smoothly. With your eyes still closed, look up at the area of your forehead. This is where you have your third eye chakra. Concentrate your gaze on this spot intently. Wait until a bright purple, or an indigo color appears. Gently take your mind away from thoughts in your mind and maintain your focus on the third eye. Remain in this position for at least 10 minutes while breathing in and out gently and deeply. After your 10 minutes are up, inhale and exhale gently, pull your palms together, and bring them both to the front of your heart. Then end the meditation with these words: May the divine grant me the ability to see and perceive the truth clearly on every level. Round up and gently open your eyes before going back to your daily business. You can do the third eye meditation every day if you want your third eye to open up quickly. However, when you start getting uncomfortable sensations in the spot where your third eye is, stop the meditation, or your third eye will open up completely and become overactive. An overactive third eye does more harm than good to psychics. When the third eye becomes overactive, you will no longer have control over your thoughts and your feelings. You might become susceptible to an influx of psychic messages, all of which will be too much to handle. So be very careful when opening your third eye. Chapter 11. Spiritual healing. Work with energy. Energy healing is a psychic and holistic practice of activating your subtle energy bodies to eliminate blocks and create a passage for energy to flow freely.
What's up, Princess?
By getting rid of the energy block, your body's innate ability to heal itself of physical, mental, and emotional conditions is activated. In an earlier chapter, I talked about how blockage in the subtle bodies can disrupt energy flow through the body system, resulting in imbalance. This results in illnesses and diseases of the body and the mind. The point of energy healing is to take a holistic approach towards restoring the balance and energy flow through your body, through your mind, and through your spirit. Energy healing directly affects the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual aspects of your well-being. Energy healers have mastered the art of using energy to treat various medical conditions, particularly those that concern your mental health. They do this by using vital energy to determine the root of the disturbance in the energy system. Once they locate the spot of the blockage, the flow of energy is restored. The ill person automatically becomes cured when the flow disruption is fixed. To heal with
I'm
energy,
doing well, love.
you
Thanks for
first
asking.
need to master your energy body. So please refer back to Chapter 4. Once you have mastered your energy field in your astral form, you can use your energy to heal other people's energy systems. Energy disruption is often caused by an accumulation of physical, mental, and emotional stress. It may also be caused by environmental stress, trauma, and negative belief systems. These are factors that act as blocks to your spiritual and your personal growth. They often accumulate and store in your energy field, resulting in decreased functions. Using energy healing techniques, you can facilitate the healing process to eliminate blocks in your field, to repair and restore the balance of the chakras, and more important, repurpose energy around your body so it can return to an optimal state of functioning. From there, the body can gain back its ability to heal itself. Besides this, energy healing techniques can also help you find and identify problems before they manifest physically as pain or distortion. Learning energy healing opens up your consciousness to whatever part of your body requires or needs healing. Doing this brings a sense of harmony, health, and vitality to your life. There are different energy healing techniques. To become an energy healer, you have to master some of these techniques. Some of the most popular techniques explicitly used to heal energy are Reiki and acupuncture. Besides these, you also have lesser-known techniques such as chakra balancing, spiritual healing, and crystal healing. The subsequent chapter focuses on crystal healing practice, so I won't be touching on that here. Remember that I have also explained chakra balancing in a previous chapter. Therefore, we won't be talking about that here again either. But let's talk about Reiki healing. Reiki was created over 100 years ago by Mikao Usui, a Japanese Buddhist. It is a healing therapy founded on the principle that we are all guided by an invisible life force, or energy, that controls our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. When this life force flows freely without restriction, we can access unknown power reserves across the universe. When the life force is exposed to blockage, which is often caused by an overload of stress, trauma, or negative thoughts, it affects our system's functionality. This is the same thing I explained in a chapter where you learned about the energy body. Someone who isn't well versed with spiritual practices may easily discard this as magic or voodoo. Still, many non-spiritual people have attested to the efficacy of Reiki in treating physical and mental conditions. Most people who have witnessed the awesomeness of Reiki healing have reported feeling a huge positive shift in countenance, thinking, and overall vibes. Reiki is a mix of energy sweeping and light touches all over the body. It may feel like grounding for some people, while for others, it feels like emotional realignment. The first step in any Reiki healing is to receive energy. Start by activating your energy source within your system. Close your eyes and run through a few rounds of powerful and deep breathing. Visualize your crown chakra opening up with a stream of white light flowing out. The white light is healing. Picture the light moving from the top of your head into your chakra, then to your arms and your hands. Ask that the light fills up the part of your body where you require the most healing. As the energy flows from one part of your body to the next, keep breathing. Do this until the energy has touched every part of your body where you need healing. Your mind might get busy along the line. Simply bring your focus back to the sensation of your breathing as you continue. Imagine yourself as a medium for healing. Pray to the divine so you can receive healing of the greatest quality. If you use Reiki healing to help a loved one, you have to make sure you are filled with energy first. Reiki can help another person improve their sleep. To do this, follow the steps below. Ask the loved one or recipient to lie down flat on the bed while you hover around their head. Visualize a bright stream of light emerging from your hand into their system through the back of their head. Set an intention for the light to clear their mind of any discomfort building up. Tell the recipient to breathe in and out in several rounds. Ask them to visualize their whole memory from the day at once and show appreciation for the memory. Then ask them to release the memory with their breath. Continue to channel the healing light from your hands into their energy field. Ask them to picture their body healing, relaxing, and getting heavy for a pleasant night's sleep. 15 to 30 minutes is enough to practice Reiki for sleep on your loved one or any other person that you wish to try it out on. By the time you are done, they should be relaxed and calm enough to drift off to sleep. Reiki may also relieve stress and anxiety, which are some things that result in energy blockage in the system. Stress and anxiety disrupt the person's breathing, resulting in shortness of breath. This also causes more stress. Reiki's purpose for stress is to channel energy into the recipient's body to eliminate tension and release the knotted nerves. So place your palms on the person's shoulder for up to 15 minutes. Send the pure energy from your hand into their body. Breathe deeply and ask them to breathe with you. Let your breathing sink. This will naturally release some of the tense mental energy into their body. If the person is lying flat, put your hand behind their head to help them calm down and relax. For as much relaxation as possible, keep this technique going for about 15 to 20 minutes. To conclude, you have to seal off the energy from your crown. Offer your gratitude for the successful healing process. Cleanse yourself with the energy from your hand. Then close the source of energy to complete the healing session. You may do something as simple as wiping your hands of excess energy or releasing the remaining in prayer. End the session with both of your hands raised in prayer. Qigong. Qigong is a spiritual healing therapy used to restore the body's lost balance. This technique has existed for as far back as 4,000 years. It comprises a series of coordinated body movements, which includes breathing and meditation. The point of Qigong is to stimulate health, vitality, and spirituality in your body, your mind, and your soul. From the name, you can already tell this healing therapy works with energy. Qi is Chinese for energy. This healing technique involves moving energy through the channels and the centers while fixing the flow, strengthening it, and balancing it across the different energy points throughout your whole body. Its exercises can prevent illnesses, it can heal them, maintain quality health, and increase one's chances of longevity. The one thing about this energy healing thing is that you can use it for anybody across any age. Your physical condition does not matter. Qigong can significantly benefit the quality of your overall health. There are some basic Qigong exercise techniques. The first is concentration. This is a technique that is geared towards increasing energy awareness. It has to do with learning how to focus and let go simultaneously. In other words, Qigong concentration helps you master how to accommodate your mind, your body, and your spirit's functions while being focused and undistracted by extraneous factors. In doing this, you allow the worries of your everyday hassles to drift away. Breathing is also a Qigong exercise technique. The technique is targeted at stimulating vital energy with your breath. The two most common breathing methods to fill your body with energy are Buddha's breath and Taoist breath. Buddha's breath requires you to inhale and expand your belly with air. When you finally exhale, contract your belly and release the breath, starting from the bottom area of your lungs and pushing it out until the air deflates from your tummy and chest. As you inhale and exhale, visualize your qi flowing through the energy channels. Using your mind, allow it to flow in an orderly way. Don't tug or push at the energy. Taoist breath is the direct opposite of Buddha's breath. You can repeat the steps stated above, but do it in contrast. So you breathe in and contract your belly muscles. Then you exhale and allow your torso and lungs to relax. As you go through these steps, never forget that Qigong is an ongoing way of increasing awareness at the highest level. Still, don't practice unless you are comfortable. Do the exercises you find that are comfortable. Below is a quick Qigong awareness exercise. Shut your eyes halfway. Clear the clutter in your mind and focus on your palms. Breathe slowly and gently without force. You should feel like you are inducing a trance. Draw your hands together, with the palms touching and your fingers pointed upward. Make sure the centers of your palms touch each other. That way, you can feel when energy starts emanating from your body. Slowly move your hands apart until they are around 12 inches away from each other. It should feel like you are compressing air between your hands. You will start feeling a tingling sensation in the spot where the palms are touching. Start a back and forth movement of your hands. Let the range of the bellows vary. This exercise can help channel energy, build awareness, and enlighten yourself. Prepare for a mindset change when you experience the powers of Qi energy for the first time. Pranic Healing. The Indian word for energy is prana. Therefore, pranic healing is just another way of saying energy healing. It is a form of healing technique in which prana, known as the universal life force, is heightened, controlled, and used for specific healing purposes and benefits. Pranic healing can be used for yourself or the people around you, and the process entails projecting prana from a pure source into the system of people who need the healing. There are different levels of pranic healing. First, you have basic pranic healing. It is the most basic healing level, which involves projecting your prana energy into a person's body. It further entails scanning the person's body, cleaning, balancing, and letting go of the projected energy. The healer, who is you, also has to cut off the energy cord between the energy receiver and themselves. This is to prevent contamination and speed the healing process up. Second, you have advanced pranic healing. When you master how to use prana energy to purge and purify a person's body to invigorate and revitalize them. Third, pranic psychotherapy involves mastering the ability to use colorful prana energy to cure mental illnesses and psychological disorders. The fourth and final is a pranic crystal healing, which revolves around using healing crystals to focus energy on someone on a more intense level. Naturally, you have to start at the basic level. As you practice more, you can progress to other levels of pranic healing. Here, I have the procedure involved in performing basic pranic healing meditation. It involves 7 steps, all of which must be followed in order. Step number 1, cleansing is the first step in pranic healing. You start by performing a couple of simple exercises for purifying the energy body. The purpose of cleansing is to get rid of any accumulated energy congestion in the auric field. Step 2, invocation is the second step in pranic healing. It is significant in this meditation. You simply have to seek divine blessings and guidance in your meditation. This is to make sure you have absolute protection and appropriate help during the procedure. Step 3, the third step is the activation of the third chakra. Do this by pressing 2 fingers to the area where your heart is located. Visualize and focus on your heart chakra. Imagine the earth as a little glowing ball with shining bluish pink light and use it to bless everyone across the universe. Visualize everyone on earth, including yourself, being filled with wonderful feelings of peace, delight, hope, and devotion. Step 4. The next step is the activation of the crown chakra. Just as you did in step 3, press 2 fingers to the top of your head where your crown is located. Wait for a couple of seconds while focusing on the crown chakra. Send blessings to everyone across the planet and ask that they are filled with love, light, and kindness. Feel the positive flow of energy pumping through your own body and mind. Step 5. Envision a shining white light emerging from your crown chakra. Imagine the light flooding the entire planet. This means you are blessing the whole earth with the white light from your crown chakra and golden light from your heart chakra. This will make your blessing more plentiful and potent. Again, feel the positive flow of energy as it runs through your mind and body. Step 6. The 6th step is a stage where you achieve illumination, basically expanding awareness. Imagine the radiant white light on your crown chakra and chant Om and Amen together. Do this for up to 15 minutes. Chant the mantra and focus on the light simultaneously. Once it gets to a point, you will feel light explode within you. Step 7. The final step involves releasing the remnant energy inside of you. It is the perfect closing to your meditation. Use some more additional minutes to bless the earth while allowing the energy to be released through your hand into the earth. And before you round up your session, allow your body to return to its normal, stable self. Otherwise, you may experience a series of acute chest pain and migraine headaches. Quantum healing. Quantum healing entails using a combination of breathing and visualization exercises to increase the energy level in your system. Quantum healing not only has spiritual benefits, but also has a direct medical impact on your immune system. Essentially, quantum healing combines meditation and Eastern medicine with mind-body medicine and quantum physics. By shifting the vital life force at a quantum level, you can use quantum healing techniques to heal your mind, your body, and your spirit. I don't advise beginners to try quantum healing on their own unless they have taken a comprehensive course to prepare themselves. So, this is not to tell you to try quantum healing by yourself, but still, there are body awareness exercises related to this technique. They are brief and straightforward, so you can try them on your own. The core principle of quantum healing is to raise your vibrational levels using resonance and entrainment. Therefore, body awareness and breathing techniques are a good start for anyone interested in quantum healing. Here are some exercises to try. Feeling your finger. Hold out your middle finger. Pay attention and beware of the finger. Don't take your focus away from it. In the next few minutes, you will notice a tingling sensation, buzzing, heat, heaviness, and vibration in that finger. Your awareness of the finger becomes increased. 1 to 4 breath. Deeply and completely breathe in to the count of 1 and breathe out to the count of 4. Do this until you start feeling dizzy and then stop. The 4-4 breathe. Mentally do a body sweep from your feet to your crown as you breathe in to the count of 4. Take 1 second for each count. You should start to feel waves of sensations as you bring awareness from one part of your body to the next. Breathe out to the count of 4 and allow all generated sensations to concentrate in your hands. As with all the psychic abilities we have discussed so far, you have to put in practice if you want to learn all these energy healing techniques. Chapter 12. Crystals for healing and personal power. As you progress in your psychic journey, there are certain things you must make a constant. Crystals are part of things that can increase your psychic abilities and enhance your healing power. They're not just beautiful, they also have a lot of properties that make them a must-have. Crystals are packed with a lot of energy to bestow their owners with clarity, protection, and guidance. Other than this, you can also use them to amplify your psychic abilities. For centuries, crystals have been used in various ways due to their powerful properties. Their powerful energy allows them to have an easy impact on the body and the mind. Due to their connection with the cosmos and yourself, they are the best tools to have in your psychic development journey. Now, some people think that crystals are an outdated way of connecting with the spirit world. Well, these people have no idea what they're missing out on. Forget how crystals are portrayed and used in Hollywood movies and focus on reality. Crystals are natural minerals from the bottom of the earth. Their connection with the earth is likely why they have such potent energetic properties. Choosing crystals for your own personal use depends absolutely on what you want to use them for. But the coolest thing about them is that you don't have to choose them. they choose you. A crystal's powerful energy can connect with your own and draw you to them. So when you go crystal shopping, you will just find yourself compelled to pick up a particular crystal. Now, if this happens to you, be sure to choose that crystal. Never forget that your intuition is more aware than you can fully comprehend. So following, I will list the best crystals you can use to increase your psychic senses. But before that, there are a few things to remember. First, when you go through the crystal list, observe the ones that seem more interesting to you. Don't overanalyze. Just notice which ones draw you in. There is no definitive guide to picking the right crystal. Just allow yourself to have fun. If you go to pick out crystals in person, hold them and feel them in your hands. See how they make you feel. You are bound to notice differences in how each crystal makes you feel. If you are buying the crystals online, breathe deeply and center yourself. As you browse through the pictures online, ask yourself how they make you feel. Now, with this in mind, you can pick your crystals. All crystals are energetic items. They all have the power to open up your body and your mind to the inherent psychic abilities. But some crystals have more powerful energies than others. Here are some of the most potent crystals for increasing your psychic abilities. Amethyst. This is a gorgeous purple stone that is incredibly powerful, purifying, and healing. Amethyst is good for third eye development. It can be used to get rid of negative and toxic energy. It also cleanses the blood, it boosts hormone production, and relieves stress and anxiety. It is also said to help promote sobriety and improve a person's sleeping situation. Azurite. This is another favorite for the third eye. Azurite vibrates at the same level as the third eye, meaning it is suitable for anyone looking to hone their psychic gifts, such as clairvoyance. Clear quartz. This is a white crystal that many psychics consider a master healer. Clear quartz crystal is said to absorb, store, release, and amplify energy. It also has a natural ability to improve focus and concentration. It can also cleanse and balance the immune system by stimulating it. You may pair this stone with other stones to amplify its energy and abilities. A good pairing is with the rose quartz crystal. Let's talk about the rose quartz. This pink stone is a symbol of love. It is used to maintain harmony and trust in one's relationships. To improve your relationship and intimate connections, this is definitely the stone to go for. It can also help build love, trust, respect, and worth. The bloodstone, another brilliant stone for developing your psychic abilities. Feeling grounded is essential in your journey, and this is what bloodstone can help you achieve. This stone is also great for activating the root chakra. Now, don't forget that the root chakra is your key to staying grounded in Mother Earth. Place a grid of this crystal under your bed before you sleep and notice the difference. Obsidian. This is a very powerful stone for protecting yourself from physical, mental, and emotional toxicity. You can use it to get rid of emotional blockages in the energy system. It also helps with the detoxification of the physical body. Now, each crystal has different vibrations. It does not even matter if they are of the same stone variation. Using crystals for healing and increasing your psychic ability is a way of receiving multiple benefits in one go. Caring for your crystal is important. Cleanse your crystals regularly to ward off negativity and toxicity. You can rinse them with warm or cold water, and you may also do the cleansing with sea salt or by burning sage. The most important thing is to accept and respect what your crystals can do for you. Follow all the tips, and your psychic journey will be a smooth and seamless one. Conclusion. Psychic development can either be a fascinating and enlightening journey if you approach it the right way. Like I said, psychic skills cannot be learned in one go. You have to put in months and years of consistent practice if you want to make progress. Be careful as you journey the world of mediums and psychics. If possible, find a mentor that can make the whole journey much more enduring and fun for you. If you don't allow yourself to have fun along the way, you may end up halting your learning abruptly. So find ways to make sure this does not happen. A genuine psychic always follows through to the end, no matter how tough. More importantly, don't forget to never compare your progress with that of another person around you. So good luck. And if you enjoyed this audiobook, can you please leave a rating for it? Thank you very much for your support.